Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for clicking on this video. I know it's been a few days since I made one of these. Honestly, I was seriously stressing about the paper I have to write, and I was just cramming on that. I didn't do anything for like 3 days. But then I was like, okay, well I have like 9 days left before this paper's due. There's no way I'm gonna get it finished. So I'm like, either I just don't do it and I do 2 papers next term to finish, or I email my professor, get an extension. So I got an extension till the end of April, which is fantastic. So less stressed about that. But now I have got a bunch of books I have to take back to the library and pick up a book that I need for this paper. Maybe I'll explain my paper a little bit later. But after that, I am gonna go see Zone of Interest over by Zoologischer Garten. So let's talk about that in a minute. Need this book right here for this article right here. That's why I need it. It is such a pain in the ass if you just want to pop in and get a book real quick. You can't bring your bag in, so you have to find a locker. Locker on the ground floor. There are never any lockers there. So you have to go to the basement, fight your way through the crowd, get a locker, put your stuff up, take your coat off, get your book, find your book, and then do the whole process again. It's just kind of a pain in the ass. During COVID, at least at Fry, you could order your book and then go pick it up, which is nice. At the Staatsbibliothek, you can order your book and go pick it up. Really nice. So I need one more book at another library just down the street at the British Library. It's part of the Humboldt system. There's like 6 or 7 different libraries. So I've got 2 hours before the movie starts. So I think I'll go get that book and then head over to Kurfürstendamm and maybe catch a coffee or something before the movie starts. We'll see. I actually remember looking for this book when I was here the other day, but I couldn't find it. Let's see if I have better luck this time. Not on this shelf. Okay, I was in the wrong section. Now, L847, right here? No, that's not right. L847M8. Okay, 847. L847 FG, JJK, L. Okay. Car. Okay, L847M8 is not here. Maybe it's checked out. Point 2 up here. Point 2. Encyclopedia of London's East End. There we go. That's exactly what we need. Boom. Right, I think I got everything I need from libraries, although there is one book available for me at the Staatsbibliothek at the State Library, but I'm waiting on another one. So I'll probably just wait to go over there a little later, maybe tomorrow. And actually, I don't really even need those books anymore, I don't think, based on where I've decided to take the focus of this paper. So I don't know. Now I think I'm just gonna go over to make my way over to Zoologische Garten. Movie starts in like 2 hours, so I might just grab a coffee or something. I'm not real sure, but I'm gonna head that way. It's like a little bit too warm for a coat, but a little too cold for not a coat. It's that time of year. Probably could have gotten away with wearing my jean jacket, but oh well. If you've not heard about or aren't familiar with the movie Zone of Interest, it's about Rudolf Höss, who was the commandant of Auschwitz. It's really about him and his family and the life they establish, and this home and this chateau, this home that they establish outside the gates of Auschwitz I. If you're not familiar with Auschwitz, Auschwitz was actually two camps. There was Auschwitz I, which was in the city, and which was primarily a work camp. Deaths did occur there. They had a crematorium. It was a site of murder, but it was predominantly a work camp. And then Auschwitz-Birkenau is what we typically think of with the Holocaust, and it was a death camp. So in this movie, they set their household up outside of Auschwitz I, and basically right next to the wall of the camp. And from my understanding of the movie, they don't talk about the camp in the movie, and it's about their daily lives and the things that they did, this family, how this family lived. But from what I understand, the whole thing is about sounds and the surrounding audio that goes along with it. That's why I've been told you have to see this movie in a movie theater, because of the sound. So I'm gonna do that. I'll put a clip from the trailer in this video right here, and you can take a look at it. And I'll definitely give you a review after I watch it.
Das ist ja wunderschön. Ja, die Azaleen da. Hier gibt es auch Gemüse. Bisschen Kräuter, auch Rosmarin. Hier ist rote Beete. Das ist Fenchel. Die Sonnenblumen, ja. Und hier ist der Kohlrabi. Die Kinder essen wahnsinnig viel Kohlrabi.
Die herrliche Zeit, die wir im gastlichen Hause Höss verlebten, wird immer mit zu unseren schönsten Urlaubserinnerungen gehören. Im Osten steht unser Morgen. Herzlichen Dank für eure nationalsozialistische Gastfreundschaft. Heil Hitler.
All right, I just got out of that movie, and I've got some thoughts, but I'm gonna have to save them for later. I need to think about this for a little bit. Yeah. All right, I've had a little bit of time to think about this movie and to digest it and to think about how I wanted to talk about it. It's an interesting movie. You know, I've read a lot about the Holocaust, and I've seen probably 100 movies about the Holocaust. I really went on a study of Holocaust cinema last year, thinking I might do a paper on it. So I really watched a lot of Holocaust cinema, and this is a good portrayal. Okay, I'm gonna give you a spoiler alert. If you don't want to be spoiled, you should probably click off of this video now. If you don't know the story, it's about an SS Obersturmbannführer Rudolf Höss, H-O-S-S, H-O-umlaut-S-S. I never can say that right. Rudolf Höss. He was the commandant of Auschwitz. He set up Auschwitz, basically. And I was wrong when I thought his chateau that they set up was by Auschwitz I, which was the work camp. It was set up on the wall of the Auschwitz-Birkenau, which is the death camp. And so it's a very surreal movie because it's banal. It shows the everyday life of a perpetrator family. I don't say a perpetrator and his family. It's a perpetrator family. The wife benefited and used the slave labor as well. So she is a perpetrator. The children, children are as innocent as any other children probably, but, I'll leave that to you to discuss the children of perpetrators, their complicity in the Holocaust. But I thought it was really well done. I'm not a movie critic, so bear with me. I'm trying to get my thoughts together. The people in the movie do not ignore the camp next to them as I initially thought. Like, it's a part of their everyday life. They speak about it. At one point in the movie, the wife, I can't remember her name, Hedwig, I think, something like that. Hildegard, something like that, her mother said, "Oh, you have Jews working in the house." And she said, "No, the Jews are on the other side of the wall." So they acknowledge and they know what's happening there. So there's one scene where Rudolph and his sons are kayaking and they're swimming in the river. And all of a sudden he feels something and he picks it up and it's a jawbone. And he could see this cloudy water coming toward them. And so he quickly gets him and his kids out of the water. And then they get home. They have to kayak home and canoe home. I guess it's a canoe. And their shower or they're bathing and the mother's scrubbing the kids. You just see wet ashes and the residue coming off of them. So it's a part of their everyday life. This movie is unique in that it is unvarnished. It doesn't preach. It doesn't, at the end, like in Schindler's List, at the end, they give the numbers, X amount of people died and so and so and so forth. They didn't even end the story with Rudolph being captured and executed later at Auschwitz itself. He was tried and convicted by a Polish court in 1947. And I've been to Auschwitz. And at Auschwitz I, you can see the gallows that they had, and they hung him at the gallows there. But they do something really interesting. Instead of doing that, without warning, they just flash forward in time to the current time, where they don't say anything. They show these women cleaning the exhibits at the Auschwitz Memorial Camp at Auschwitz in present day. So they were in the room where if you've ever been to Auschwitz, there is a room filled with shoes, and then there's a room filled with suitcases. So they're in there cleaning the windows and then vacuuming the floors. Again, it's the banality of life living in this place, and that's a type of banality too. I was just in Sachsenhausen for, I don't know, give or take 12 to 15 hours this weekend. Spending that much time in a place like that is unlike anything. And I'm going to go back. I've got to go back and really learn the exhibits. So I'm going to go back and spend more time there. But I thought this movie was well done. I know a lot of people have come out of it thinking, being horrified and being like moved to tears. It didn't get me that way. And I will say the sound design is what makes the movie. The sound design is remarkable because you can always hear the camp sounds, either screams or the banal chugs of engines. You can see the smoke or the fire even at night, the fire coming out of the chimneys. So the sound design is excellent. There were a few moments where I kind of, especially at the beginning, where I sort of fought back some tears when the horror of it hit me. But having been around this a lot, having studied this a lot, I know these things, you know, but it's one thing to know it and it's another thing to see it. But I thought it was very well done. And it definitely shows how these people didn't care about what they were doing. They didn't think what they were doing was wrong. There is one scene that I'm curious about, because at one point her mother, the wife's mother, comes and visits, and she stays for a little while. She makes a couple of comments. Oh, yeah, I told you about the Jews working in the house, and she said no, they're on the other side of the wall. Mom stays for a little while, and then it'll show her. You can see she's sleeping in one of the children's rooms, and you could see the glow from the fire, and you can hear the noises at all times. And it wakes her up, and she's looking at it. And then at some point she leaves. And she left a note, but they never say what the note said. So I'm curious about what that scene meant. My thinking is, like a lot of people there were a lot of people that knew this was happening, that knew people were being killed. Probably not to the extent that someone that was in the SS or married to an SS member would know, but a family member would certainly know what was going on. And it's one thing to know what's going on and to be like, well, you know, I can't do anything about it. You're complicit, but it's a different kind of complicity. When you see it, you become overtly complicit. And I don't think she could handle that. So I think Mom just left because she couldn't handle that, seeing it. Like, she was fine with it if she didn't have to see it. That's what I think. But it was a really good movie, really good. I would say it's up there with the movie The Gray Zone. To me, is a really remarkable Holocaust movie. Don't like Schindler's List. Schindler's List, and I don't know a lot of people who in this field that do like Schindler's List. It's a story about the good Gentile, and it makes Oskar Schindler out to be something he isn't. But I wish they would make a story about Otto Veit. Look up Otto Veit. I'll put his name on the screen. I think that would be a remarkable story. I love Jojo Rabbit. Jojo Rabbit is a top 5 movie of mine. And there's another Holocaust movie about these Hungarian or Bulgarian. I think it was Hungarian. May have been Romanian. I can't remember. I think it was a Hungarian movie. It was a Hungarian movie about right after the Holocaust and people returning. It's a remarkable movie. Remarkable movie. I can't remember the name of it. I'll look it up and I'll put the name on the screen. But yeah, so it was a good movie. I'm glad I saw it. It's a hard movie to watch. It's at times, honestly, I dare say boring, because it's not boring, but it's banal. Nothing happens, but everything's happening. So it messes with your mind, where you're like, I'm kind of bored by this because nothing is happening, but then everything is happening as well. This horrific event is happening right there. And that's kind of the point, I think. That's kind of the point the movie is trying to make, is that even as you're watching this movie, you can be lulled into complicity by thinking, well, this is boring. Nothing's happening, but everything's happening. So yeah, I suggest Zone of Interest. I suggest checking it out. If you can see it in the movie theater, go see it in the movie theater because of the sound design. It's amazing. So yeah, I think that's going to do it for tonight, guys. I've talked enough. So yeah, that's going to do it for me, guys. I hope you liked this video. If you did, make sure you hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't done so, guys. I can't tell you how much it helps me grow. So yeah, I hope you have a great evening. I'll see you tomorrow. Take it easy.